We are going to do some Arena Cube. It's just waiting a second for people to tune in. All right, we have a pack. I don't like any of these cards. I guess Adeline is probably the best card. I've lost this card a bunch. Like, usually when people are on the plan, they go 1, 2, 3. And their 3-drop is an Adeline. The game ends. Koma's really good in a very specific deck, but I don't want to just dive into that. I guess I'm taking Adeline. Cybus Siphoner is also pretty good. We have Thalia and Adanto Vanguard and Lurrus. If I'd taken a 2-drop to start, I would definitely take Lurrus, but I'm either giving up the Adeline or I'm not getting to Companion Lurrus. That's not that exciting. I think I want to take the Thalia. I'm not 100% sure it's better than the Adanto Vanguard, to be honest, though. I think I'll go with it. We have the History of Benalia. I really like this land. I actually like being white-green in this cube. I don't know that I like being white-green enough, though, that I'm just going to pick this land here. I think there's an argument to be made for Touch the Spirit Realm. I think Blade Splicer's probably better than History of Benalia. Both of Adeline's a knight. I was going to say, I don't think there's very much in the way of knight synergy. Like, when most of your creatures aren't knights, History of Benalia is a little bit lackluster. I think I'll go with Touch the Spirit Realm. All right. No white cards to be seen anywhere. It's very unlikely that I wind up mono white, so I'll just take a dual land. Is Fabled Passage better or Forsaken Crossroads? I think it's probably Fabled Passage. There are cards, especially in white, it's really nice if you wind up having fetch lands because you can get Sun Titan and Sarah Avatar that can recycle them. Also, not in white, but in other colors there are delve cards. So I think it's better to have the thing that kind of produces an extra permanent, or an extra card, essentially, in your graveyard. This pack seems quite bad. Mephit's Enthusiasm is definitely the best spell, but I could also just take the 5-color pathway. This picture is confusing, though. The picture makes it seem like there's only 4 different paths, but we all know it's a 5-color pathway. Whoa! What are you doing here? was very impressed that this card is still in the pack with pick 6. But then there's also this one. Which this might be the card I'm most happiest to pack one, pick one. That said, I'm going to pick Plow because I've got 3 white cards and no black cards. But getting either of these pick 6 is kind of ridiculous. And now there's this pack that has not much. Not really a fan of the blue-white archetype in this cube. Kind of want to just take Armored Scrap Gorger. I think white-green has some really good gold cards. That being said, I just immediately see one of the white-blue cards. And we wield nothing effectively. It's kind of hard to imagine getting to a Storm the Festival deck, given what I started with. I think I'll just take Priest of Felrites in case I wind up white-black instead of white-green. Now we've got a Lurrus. Which is certainly nice. There's also white-black land. I think I'll take the Lurrus. The white-green land wield. I also actually like Deeproot Wayfinder a lot, and it's another reason to pick things like Fabled Passage High. But I think the white-green land is better. I also really like Primal Might. How is Mephit's Enthusiasm still in the pack? Doesn't seem right to me. So we've got the Wandering Emperor, which is very good. Sky Sovereign is also really strong. And there's like Thraben Inspector and Benalish Knight Counselor, which I think the Inspector is better than the Benalish Knight Counselor. This is one of the Alchemy cards. The ability doesn't really come up all that often, I would say. I kind of just want to pick the Wandering Emperor, and I suspect I'll wheel one of these white 1-drops. The creature land being your only green card, would that be good enough to play it? No. It would not. I mean, because this is effectively a double green card. Like, if you're thinking about just splashing it for the idea that you're going to activate it, it's the same thing as splashing a double green card. Because you would need to draw this. Well, I guess if you don't consider this a green source, then it's not a double green card. But a big part of the benefit of this is it's a land that casts your spells. While I like white-green, I don't usually wind up in the kind of deck that is that excited about Mirari's Wake. I kind of just want to take Vorinclex. Oh, man, I get this card so often because I'm willing to draft decks that it's good in, but this card is so miserable to play with. I think I'm still going to have to pick it because it is quite good, but it's just like what types is Vorinclex? Phyrexian Praetor. All right, so that's going to overlap with the Elesh Norns. I've learned that much. What's Lurrus? Lurrus is a cat nightmare. Do you have any other cats or nightmares? This would be my only wolf. But this Emeria's Call is a really good card. So we have a Human Soldier and Reckoner Bankbuster. And I actually think this is like this is a great card, I think, in white-green. I've used the second mode of this to go and get the 7-mana Elesh Norn so many times. That said, I might have to just take the Bankbuster. The Bankbuster is, I think, very, very strong in decks that can crew it. How does the Bankbuster work with Vorinclex? It enters with 6 counters on it. But if I remove, do I remove double counters? No. So we have Once Upon a Time and we have Wedding Announcement. I like Wedding Announcement. I think I'm just going to take the Voracious Hydra. I don't really like this Elesh Norn very much. Both of the white 1-drops wield, so I guess I'm taking Thraben Inspector. Should I take Mirari's Wake at this point? I kind of think the answer to that's no. I'm not going to pick this. I don't think I want this. Cerise, Slayer of Fear is like unbeatable if it lives. Wow, the Welcoming Vampire Wield? That's kind of crazy. Do you keep the cards in a queue draft? No, you do not. It's a Phantom draft, and it realistically, if you're someone who's looking to draft, well, if you're looking to just build up your arena collection, playing Cube is probably not a very good idea. Because it's pretty hard to come out ahead doing it. I didn't wheel at Huntsman's Redemption. Very sad. Is this a card that would be good in my deck? This is a Planeswalker that isn't like exciting with Vorinclex, but this is generally like a pretty powerful card. I don't think I'm going to miss March of Otherworldly Light or Workshop Warchief. Is this first pick worse than the first pack? I'm not sure I understand your comparison exactly. I think Adeline is a better card, and that's what I pack one, picked one.
If you can.
Oh no. Should I pick the mid-game mulligan? This is the perfect card if you want a mulligan in the middle of the game. I don't think that I'm going to have enough instants and sorceries to want to play Monastery Mentor. I'm not excited about the idea of playing Solemn Simulacrum. I guess I'll take the mid-game mulligan. It's been a while since I played with it. You got to play with it every once in a while to remember why you hate it. All right, here I'm going to take Lovestruck Beast because I think one of the benefits of being white-green is this thing wheels a lot of the time. It's, I think, a pretty strong card. It's maybe not as good as Voice of Resurgence, which I like a lot. But I like that white-green has 2 gold cards that are both 2-drops. I feel like I haven't gotten very many lands. Guess that's just how it goes. Do I want the Foundry Groundbreaker or Elite Spellbinder? I do have 2 6-drops. I guess I'll take the Groundbreaker. Ossification in this cube usually just works. You don't have to worry about it dying, which makes it pretty good removal. I don't think I would play Lyra. I guess I'll take Selfless Spirit. I'm not sure I'm going to play that either. It's kind of crazy that Gix is command wheeled. Might just be adding 13 basic lands and calling it a day. I didn't get anything that's too nutty with Vorinclex. Like I don't have Luminarch Aspirant. I suppose if I flip the mid-game mulligan and I'm getting counters on things and I've got the Vorinclex, I'm gonna win, but that's requiring a lot of things to go right. I think the Wraths are good if you're a control deck. Like I think if you're a blue deck, you're looking to pair, like you're looking for your second color to be something where you're getting Wraths, and you can do that in black, red, and white. I have to play Sir Joshua and Sir Saxon. Should I play them over the mid-game mulligan? Maybe over Bushwhack. I don't know that I need Bushwhack in my deck. Good Ranger of Eos deck? Sadly, no. How many cheap things would it take to play main deck Lurrus? It wouldn't take that many. I think that it would. I would want them to be better things, though, I guess. Like, there's a different way I could build my deck, where I could be playing Lurrus and Selfless Spirit and Dauntless Bodyguard. Like, I think, well, last pick card I'm going to use. Using Lurrus to get back Armored Scrap Gorger doesn't seem very appealing to me. But I want to play the Mana Ramp, just because I am playing some more expensive cards. Okay, I have 2 6s and a 5. I think this is what I'm going to play. I'm inclined to play with the mid-game mulligan over Selfless Spirit just to experience playing with it. But I kind of feel like probably I'd be better off with Selfless Spirit. I just haven't played with this in a while. I need to relearn why I don't like it. Surprised Knight of Autumn didn't wheel. I don't think Knight of Autumn is good. Like I don't think I would have it in my deck, even if it had wheeled. So I'm not sad about that. I guess it's a little surprising somebody else picked it, so I agree with that. Wow, I could really harm myself if I sacked the wrong land to Foundry Groundbreaker after I ossify something. I'm going to have to be very careful not to do that. So far, I have not been particularly impressed by Goblin Bombardment in this cube. Oh man, they're thickening their deck with Lightning Bolts. Look how thick their deck is going to be. It's already back up to 37 cards. Do I want a ground break, or I could just go Armored Scrap Scourger Ossification. I think I ideally don't wind up having to use my Ossification on Tauros Disciple. I'm not that concerned that they're going to fill their deck up with Lightning Bolts. It used to be the case that the main blue theme in the cube was Mill, and that made this Tauros Disciple guy just great. You just fight the milling. Not messing around. I don't get to keep anything. Could play Vorinclex and attack them. I think I would prefer to just ossify the Giver of Runes. Play Armored Scrap Gorger this turn. This was maybe a little bit worse because it does mean they got to just throw the Giver of Runes at the token right before it was about to become a 2/2. There was nothing in particular about moving off of Twitch. I don't know. I don't want to commit to keeping a regular streaming schedule, so if I stream occasionally on YouTube and it's sitting next to YouTube videos, I think that's probably for the best. So they got 9 Lightning Bolts in their deck now. They're not messing around. Look at that, they've just shown up with the 43 card deck. Okay. Not that bad for me. Oh, they're down 1 Lightning Bolt, -1 bolt. This is an A22 bolt, so you can tell it's one of the ones that shuffled in, because you can just have regular Lightning Bolts in your deck in this cube, but that has a different set than A22. The Lightning Bolts are getting out of hand. Do I ever feel like the Tauros Disciple ability is a downside? In Constructed, I did think it was a downside. I think in Draft, it's usually an upside. But like if you were going to play this in Alchemy or Historic or something, I actually think it's just probably worse than 3/3 haste for 3. Alright, that's not a very good play when I have Vorinclex in play. It's really not going to do what you were hoping for. They drew one bolt. Sand has no planes. I do have... I could take the pre-game mulligan instead of the mid-game mulligan. I don't remember exactly. I think I have probably like 10 white sources in my deck. Plus I have 2 green mana guys. I think this is a keepable hand. I think I'm drawing to like 12 cards that are good on turn 2. And then the same 12 cards are also going to be pretty good on turn 3. Forest was not one of the ones that was a good card. I haven't seen anybody play this card yet. I suspect it's pretty bad. It's time for a mulligan. What do we got? Polukranos. We have green, black land. I think I'm too far behind. What's this giant little white rectangle? I think that was from Ameria. I think he was trying to load an animation for Ameria and it failed. Oh, I should have crewed this in response. Anyway. Can I exile my own Voice of Resurgence? I could. I'd prefer not to, though. They get a treasure and I get a 1/1 with Rose. Seems like we're both getting what we want. this card's good. Next turn, I might want to kill the Jewel Mine Overseer with this. I wanted to see if I can... it might be better to just ramp into one of these things. Giving them one card, which they didn't even use their free planes. So that's nice, I guess. Come on, land drop. It worked. So if I want to, I can play Eternal Wanderer and just start flickering my Foundry Groundbreaker. So just have all Mishra's Foundries. Well, that's not that good for me. I think I'm gonna let it die. Hopefully they don't have a way to get the enchantment off the board. I guess even if they have a way to get their Inferno Titan back next turn, I can just Eternal Wanderer or use the Wandering Emperor. A lot of wandering themed stuff going on. Nobody ever beats Voice of Resurgence. Do I have another Beast Nobles? I wonder. I have other Phyrexians because I have Warren clicks. I think this is my only vampire. I've had problems in the past where I've had too many vampires. I think that's my only vampire. This thing's pretty good against my Menagerie Curator. Welcoming vampire technologies. You can't read about the Sword of the Ages deck anymore? Can't you go on the Wayback Machine? absurd. Should I just ossify that thing because it's so annoying. How many cards they've gotten off of it? I don't think so. I think their green deck will play something more important. This gives indestructible, so ossification works. Play the Eternal Wanderer in minus, and they sack the Coma's Coil in response. I would have to leave them a Fairy Mastermind, and this would immediately die. I don't think I'm that excited about that as an outcome. I think I'll play the Restless Prairie rather than the Forest and cracking the Clue. I want the option of being able to attack with the Restless Prairie next turn.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stomp.
How bad is it? If I ascend with everything, this probably jumps there. This gets blocked there. That blocks there. I think they still die. I think they're gonna die. Even if they don't die, I think they're gonna take a fair amount of damage. I'll let them sort it out. That's kind of bad for me. I don't care about multi-streaming, MJ. I actually went to the trouble of specifically setting it up so I wouldn't do it. I still have a Plow left in my deck, and to touch the Spirit Realm that could get the Coma off the board. Seems like I'm in a fair amount of trouble. I play the Eternal Wanderer and minus it. It's not really actually going to be that good for me. I think this is my best play, but it's not going to be good enough to win. It's also countered. Okay. I didn't have an attack there because I could just obviously flash and Lutri. What's the best Sword of the Ages strategy? It's not to put all 0 power creatures in your deck.
We will adapt to any threat.
This doesn't really help me. I guess I do get a card off of the Curator. It's my card. Show me my card. That beside you was brutal. Show me my card, please. Oh, it's the mid-game mulligan. I can't even afford to cast it. This is my only elemental. This is not my only human. It's also not my only Phyrexian Praetor. Oh, it's a Yorion deck. Any cards from Markov that I like for Constructed? Honestly, I haven't even looked at any of them. I think I'll try playing Standard again once they come out, but I never really get very excited about spoiler season. There's going to be a huge number of cards in Standard, right? So it's got to be pretty hard for any of the cards to be all that good. I'm sure some of them will see play, but I wasn't like that big of a, well, I wasn't really a fan of Standard before.
I have practiced against many with thoughtfulness before action.
Lightning Helix is in there? Okay, I guess that could see play. It doesn't even seem like it's pretty much... Lightning Helix doesn't seem like a particularly powerful card for Standard, being honest.
I shall miss your company.
Is it time to take a mulligan? Yes, it is. So how does if I have Vorian Clicks in play when I play a battle, does it get double the battle counters? It would enter with double the siege defense counters, I'm pretty sure. It's not actually that good. There's a Flash Hushbringer that will see play. Is it 2 mana? It sounds like a pretty good card. I hope that they go out with style and they time warp me. It hasn't happened in this iteration of Cube, but I think the last time I played Cube on Arena, like when they had it 6 months or so ago. I played an Emrakul and my opponent had a Time Warp in their hand, and I just Time Warped. Like, I had them Time Warp for me. They didn't win that game. Another Lutri gamer. Come on, no lightning bolt, no lightning bolt. No lightning bolt. I don't think they had lightning bolt. Oh, they have lightning bolt. Pretty awkward lands to draw. Is Oracle of the Alpha in this cube? It is. I wish I'd been streaming the other day. I played against somebody who we played a crazy long game. They had Oracle of the Alpha out, and they played Ancestral, Time Walk, Black Lotus, 2 Moxes, and Time Twister, and I still beat them. The Moxes weren't a big deal. The Ancestral and the Time Walk were, as always, the problem cards. Which I would not have won, except like I was pretty far ahead before they got the chance to do all that. This game has not started out particularly well for me. I guess I'm about to get to hit them with Adeline. Maybe things will be looking up in a second. Especially if I draw another planes. Drawing a double green card was not nearly as good as drawing another planes. Well, how did you manage to lose Youngest Station after doing all of that? What's the punchline to the story? They had lightning bolts. What did they kill? They killed with molten impact. This thing can sack to itself, right? No, it's another creature. Guess I'll wait to see if they play like a 5-mana haste dragon, but I'm going to plow this before it hits me again. I do agree that Lutri is kind of boring in the cube. I don't even think it's that. I don't think it's particularly good, but it is like pretty unexciting for sure. This is a human. It is a human. So I probably need to Wandering Emperor the Yawgmoth before I try to do anything with this. Whoa. Just going aggro with this thing.
I'm home. You are not much of a roadblock.
I have to be honest, I did think that my Wandering Emperor was going to live. I don't know that it was that important whether it lived or not, but I was expecting it to live.
For this?
Hope that they're out of removal. They have these Gix's Command sleeves, which is making me notice that they have Gix's Command in their hand. That's kind of bad for me too.
Not to brag, but I'm totally the best pyromancy student.
I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Bastion of Remembrance now. There's no way to gain life with this card, is there? I don't think so. What are they going into the tank
This is
for?
my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch. Sacrifices must be made.
I guess they're one off of killing me, so maybe they were thinking
You get him, buddies.
there was some way to get one more point of damage. I can kill the Chandra, but then I just die to the Swift Spear. That Swift Spear did me in. It's the Menagerie Curator back for another run. I think I'm going to start with Crucius this time. I do think Crucius is an extremely powerful card, even in its nerfed state. I noticed today that most of the alchemy cards, there's nerfed versions of them, but Townraiser Tyrant, it's not a nerfed form for some reason. Or it's like a middle revision of Townraiser Tyrant. I think it's not the current version. I didn't play Timeless a ton. Like I played it a little bit, but I don't really enjoy playing formats where so many of the decks have Fortress Bowmasters in them. The best Town Raiser triggered at the end step? No, the first version was the best, and it triggered at the beginning of upkeep, but it worked on non-basic land or on any lands. It wasn't just non-basics. And also, when they first printed it, like the way that the arena stops worked, you frequently wouldn't even you couldn't tap it for mana before you had to decide whether or not to sack it unless you'd already set a stop in your upkeep before they played it. It was really a frustrating card. Are these the two best black cards in this cube? I think they might be. Sheoldred and Breach, I think, that are the two best black cards in the cube. This is probably just a fetch land. I don't think any of these black cards are anything special. Also play with fires, obviously nothing special. Counterspell's pretty special. Counterspell and Avacyn are both really good, but not so much with what I've already got. I think this is Go for the Throat. Suppose there's an argument for Mind Stone, especially when I already have Breach. But unlike some cubes, I do think that just like 2-mana kill a creature is pretty good in this cube. Tenacious Underdog. Or I could take this land. So this land's just good if I want to splash white or green, because I can get it with the Foothills. I do think Agent of Raffine is a really good card in this cube. There's also a Wedding Announcement. I think a lot of the times when I start with Crucius, I wind up being black, red, splash, white. And Wedding Announcement's okay. It's not like one of the highest priority white cards to splash, though. I'll just go with Tenacious Underdog. Cheap creature. To have an underdog. Oh, man. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is a really strong card. But Preacher of the Schism I have not played with that much, and it's been pretty impressive when people have had it against me. I'll go with Seasoned Pyromancer. It's a modern-only card as opposed to a standard legal card. That's the tiebreaker in my mind. So Pile On or White-Black land. So I'll just go with pile on. Can someone explain to me why Obliterating Bolt is in the cube when there's also Mephit's Enthusiasm and what's the Molten Impact? I don't understand. I think I'm going to pick it and I'm going to play with it, but I'm going to feel bad that I didn't get one of the better versions. Super easy Hive of the Eye Tyrant. This is like super poor man's version of Sheoldred, right? You know, I'm just going to pick Assemble the Team because I don't want to play super poor man's version of Sheoldred. So there's Misery Shadow and Sheoldred's Edict. I think I like Sheoldred's Edict better. There's also Mind Spike, which certainly has its place. The Beside You. I'm hate drafting this Beside You. No one's rescuing their coma with it again. Ooh. Here we go, Molten Impact. So this one exiles, is that its big thing? Yeah, exiling is not as good as getting free damage. Grave Titan. Impact over Fable? No. I mean, Impact is a very good card, but Fable is ridiculous. I think this is just Grave Titan. Here. Definitely not the Sedgemoor Witch. The Sedgemoor Witch only ever disappoints, I would say. Cruelty of Gix, I could maybe see an argument for, but Grave Titan is very good. I think that the top 5 black cards in this cube probably involve these 3 and maybe Thoughtseize and something I'm not thinking of. It's not Knight of the Even Legion, but I do think Knight of the Even Legion is reasonable. I think it's what I'm going to pick here. I could instead maybe pick a green-black land if I actually wanted to play some of these green cards. I don't know that I'm really in the market for either of those that much, though. I was about to say, I would like to get some dual lands that actually work in my colors. Stark Ritual in the cube? I'm pretty sure it's not. I think this is either 4-mana Chandra or Lord Skitter, Lord Skitter Sewer King. I'm going to pick Chandra. It gives me a mana source that ramps me towards Breach the Multiverse, in addition to just being a very good card.
You want to go, tough guy?
How close am I to having Priest of Forgotten Gods be a good card? Seasoned Pyro, Grave Titan. Grave Titan's, it's kind of ridiculous to combine that with Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I guess if, like, your second Priest of Forgotten Gods activation is maybe nice with Grave Titan. Like, the first one you use to ramp out the Grave Titan, and then if you untap, you can do it. You can go again. Should I try to Live the Dream, or should I pick Cut Down? I'll try to Live the Dream. It does seem a little bit goofy, though. Oh, these are some very good red-black cards. I think I should take Gix's Command. This is another... Maybe this is the missing 5th card from the top 5 black cards. These are not the missing cards. Is there any reason to believe Drown and Ichor is exciting in my deck? Not really. It helps Chandra and Fable and the Mirror Breaker a little bit. I'll take this Sorin. I don't even know if I'm going to wind up playing it, though. I feel like I've already got a lot of good cards. Ooh. I have the Den and the Hive. Can you get all 5 of them? I think you can. I would like to have a cube deck where I had all 5 of these lands. This is a card I splash in red-black a lot. I don't know if I'm going to do it this time. It'll depend. If I get the Savoy Triome and I have 2 fetch lands and an Isolated Chapel, I will definitely do it. I don't think I've passed the Savoy Triome. Gutterball. Gutterball goes with the Priest of Forgotten Gods, and I wield Cut. Yet another card that Obliterating Bolt just looks so sad next to. What do we got here? Bankbuster, Liliana, and Yawgmoth. I think I'm just going to go with Bankbuster. I had kind of bad luck with Bankbuster the previous draft, but I still think it's extremely strong. So I've got 4 lands right now, so I've got 20 spells. And it wouldn't be the end of the world if I cut one of the 2 mana removal spells. Maybe Sorin. Sorin's really not that bad. Oh, should I be concerned about deck thickening? Could be adding some lightning bolts to my deck. Add lightning bolts to my deck, and then I can use Crucius and just discard like 2 drops and say Expedient to try to find the lightning bolts. Is that a good plan? Not really. If this was best of 3, I would take Massacre Worm, I think. But I don't think I'm going to start it in my deck, so I guess I'll take Devil's Play. Which I also don't think I'm going to wind up playing, but if I have to play one of them, I think I would rather play Devil's Play. All right, another contender for best black card in the cube. If I could just get the Thoughtseize, this would be like an official trial run to figure out what the best cards are in black. All right, so there's the Triome. And there's Lightning Bolt. I think I have to take the Triome. The Triome makes my Wooded Foothills. It upgrades it from a card I'm not going to play to a card that's actually, I think, pretty good. And this also means I can play Showdown, which I think I want to do. So this is 5 lands now. No, it's 6. So 1 more spell, and I'd be at 23. I think I'm just going to take Bonecrusher Giant. It's just a good card. Oh, good. I got the Thoughtseize. I was concerned I wouldn't have as many good black cards as I wanted. I think at this point I'm taking Priest of Forgotten Gods out of my deck. I didn't get anything that's particularly good with it. I guess I got Seasoned Pyromancer. Rankle. I guess I'm going to play Liliana
A
over
fight?
Obliterating Bolt.
And you think you can win?
Definitely not going to play Crux of Fate. Is this the cube that used to have the dragon theme and it had like Dragon's Horde in it? Oh man, this is one of the good cards for Priest of Forgotten Gods. It's a fetchable red-white Triumph. I don't think I need that. What is Inti still doing here? I have to play Inti. And I think
You
Waltz
could
is
have
better
such power.
than...
But you are too weak.
Do I still have the 4 mana Planeswalker in my deck? I don't even have that in my deck. I'm going to have to make some hard cuts. Do I really need to play a Plains? I don't think so. I have 4 white sources without a Plains. I don't have any way to fetch just a Plains. I only have 1 white card, and I've got what, 2 ways to make a treasure. And I also have a couple of things that I can just discard this if it's uncastable. So we're not going to play that. Gutterbones seems suspicious. Yeah, I can agree that Gutterbones made a lot more sense when I thought I was going to be a Priest of Forgotten Gods deck. I can buy that. Maybe Sheoldred's Edict. Seems pretty strong. Yeah, Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephalia is good with Rankle. I agree. Is it possible Jadar is better than Tenacious Underdog? My weakest 3-mana card, I would say, is Liliana. My weakest 4-mana card, which this is really kind of more of a 2-mana card, is probably the Rankle. I think I want to play all, like, everything that's 5 and up. Is Cut Ribbons a worse removal? A worse removal than what? I'm not sure what you're comparing it to, but I think that Cut Ribbons in a deck that it easily has access to the black half is a very strong card. Am I so wrong about not wanting Showdown that I'm being ignored? I didn't see you not wanting Showdown, but I think Showdown is quite good. You'd play Edict over Cut for the Planeswalkers. I mean, that is, like, it's true that Cut does not hit Planeswalkers, but I think that Ribbons is worth it. Oh, I've got the combo. Blood Tithe Harvester, Fable, and the Mirror Breaker. Suspecting they're not going to want to trade because they may actually want to use this to go and get a land. This thing hit 9 tokens. It's non-land permanent, so they can just bounce my token. That'd make me sad if they did that. I hope that doesn't happen. They'd need to draw another island. Do this card, which I think is pretty bad. I was confused why I couldn't play Liliana. Now I understand. It's because I don't have double black.
What? My hair is on fire? I know.
I think Grave Titans is a very strong target for copying with Reflection of Kiki Jiki. I think there could be a future in that. How come there haven't been any Arena Open Qualifier videos? I haven't played in all of them lately, and some of the ones that I did play in, it was just more frustrating. I usually record them, and then if nothing good happens, I don't always publish them. But I played like one draft maybe of the most recent Ixalan set and then just decided I didn't want to. I decided it didn't look like that much fun and I didn't even want to bother trying to learn, like read all the text on all the cards. So I just didn't even play it. So I didn't play any of those opens. Guess I missed 2 damage. Maybe should have been able to anticipate that I was going to want to cast that. Come on, no 2 mana counter. Doesn't matter what I get. I think it really doesn't. But I guess I'll get more black mana because I can get red mana from the Chandra.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Boo. doing to me? Committing that. Okay. Who said that they didn't think I should play Showdown? It's just a juicy 4-for-1 here.
I knew you needed me up. You're going down.
Although admittedly I haven't gotten any +1/+1 counters yet, which does make me somewhat sad. I like that my opponent's missing their land drop, so they have to keep tapping out. I'm gonna get Lolth into play, or do I want to go like Bankbuster and cut? Probably I just want Lolth in play.
Today's my lucky day.
You require my aid. Aren't I the generous one?
No! Gross. Disgusting. Probably not going to be enough, but still. I was doing so well up until that point. This is one of those spots where Ribbons really makes it impossible for them to win. Also, they may have had Immortal Sun stopping my 2 Planeswalkers, but they were going to be taking 4 a turn from Sheoldred. Bang.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick. One of your friends has to leave.
Oh, that's no fair. Definitely I'm going to plus this. I'm not sure if I want to discard Lolth or Breach. I guess it's just Breach. Shouldn't be greedy.
I'm tired of your
Probably going to be pretty hard for their white deck to just beat Lolth if I can just cast it next turn. How would you compare this compute to Legacy or Vintage? I haven't played whatever the Legacy Cube is. I hadn't played Vintage Cube in a long time. I played like a good amount of this most recent one. And I had a good time doing it. But it's very different than this. This is like much more just playing like standard singleton decks,
Knew this was a waste of time.
which I think is fun. Whereas like the Vintage Cube is much more about combos. This is much more about just like having a good curve and trying to have synergistic cards. Oh, that card's a problem. So I'm gonna go no blocks. Maybe blocking next turn.
I will cull the weak.
You think cut ribbons cost 4 and not 2 if that mattered? I think you're right that it cost 4, but I wanted to keep both of my 5 drops, and I was planning to just hope to get a land. This guy, and there's actually a planeswalker. What does he do when there's a planeswalker? They're just going crazy on killing my planeswalker. Trample hexproof haste. As long as you have a planeswalker. I do have a planeswalker.
I return. Do what I demand.
This thing making it so that the Gix's command doesn't really wipe their board has been really something I have not enjoyed. Oh, I didn't realize the Adeline was gonna live. Guess that's okay. It's not ideal, but it's maybe manageable. Next turn, I'm gonna have ribbons for like 10? 9. No, ribbons for 9. don't know. There's got to be a better card in my deck I can draw than those. I do think this is a very fun cube. I think it's pretty well balanced. And there's a lot of interesting games. Like, I think that Vintage Cube is kind of fun to draft, but a lot of the times the games aren't very good. Guess I'm playing Seasoned Pyromancer, discarding Liliana and a Mountain. And then it's an open question as to whether or not I want to harvest the Gilded Goose. Had I hit a swamp, it might have made sense to hold on to the Harvester, so that I could combo with Meathook Massacre and next turn to maybe wipe the board. But now that I don't even have double black, so I don't have the option to do that, I think I prefer to just slow them down for potentially playing a 6-drop next turn. They're not messing around, I see. This is food. Okay. Are they gonna sack the Questing Beast or the Briar Bridge Tracker? I think it's gonna be the Briar Bridge Tracker. Seven. Eugene.
I am ancient. A truth lies beyond vision.
And Eugene is scary. Could have animated the land and sacked it too. Yeah, I guess they could have. I think that it's probably the least likely thing for them to do, though. This doesn't seem like it's going to be a winning play. I think it's something I have to do. But I can't attack because of this thing. I'm just going to lose to them at rebuilding a decent-sized board and the Crater Hoof Behemoth becoming lethal again.
I can create or destroy.
I have a few and a Toscan. I guess my deck is still capable of winning if I have the right Breach the Multiverse, so I shouldn't just concede.
The fabric of the multiverse obeys me.
Probably lethal. I got 22 to my 5 to 18. Yeah, I'm good. On a mull to 5. I hate giving them a random card from my deck, but I think I have to, given what my hand is. I mostly hate giving them a random card from my deck because it makes me have to think about what the card might be. Wasn't this one? Play Shieldred this turn and show down the Scalds next turn, almost definitely. Wasn't that one? What's that? Ooh, Seasoned Pyro into Shieldred. Tough break for the opponent here. This is a lot of damage. Also, somebody tricked my opponent. They somehow registered Field of the Dead in their deck. Never a good strategy. This is another one. I don't understand why this card is in the queue. Like, this card is not particularly good if if you don't have any synergies for it at all. And as far as I know, there's like no synergies for it. Which is kind of sad. This is a good card if there are synergies, but there just aren't any. I guess you can Hanger Back Walker when it dies makes Thopters. It's like a very minor synergy. But other than that, I don't think there's much. On lands. It works. So make another 2/2. Come on, give me something good. No, their deck doesn't have anything good. I got robbed from that breach. Guess I'm just taking the Llanowar Elves. Maybe it's better to take Tireless Tracker. Yeah, I'll take Tireless Tracker. The real question is, should I Meathook Massacre for 1? I think it's fine to do. It's good to spend my mana this turn, and if all I do is play the Bloodtithe Harvester, they're just gonna Unholy Edict, so it's really not a great way to spend my mana. I guess they are gonna get to fight with fire. The Shieldred, that's a little annoying. They don't have an instant speed thing to do to it. Whoa. What are we doing, opponent? Just letting Shieldred live for a turn? It's weird.
those Dominaria shadows like me? Off you go.
Probably not going to want to plus Liliana. See what happens though. Just hitting them for 6 is going to be a pretty good turn, so guess I'll do that. And I actually can plus the Liliana. Don't mind discarding this pylon.
You won't be outsmarting me.
So what's been the best black card? It hasn't been Breach, but I only cast it the once. I've drawn it a decent amount when I didn't have enough mana to play it. I guess I can just fetch. I was thinking I was going to get Savoy Triumph with this, but I can just fetch Mountain. It turned out fine. The Oracle of the Alpha. I was hoping they weren't going to block. Kind of like getting the Oracle of the Alpha off the board, though. Yikes. Knight of the Even Legion was doing so good up until this point. I maybe played this game a little bit crazy.
Now this is a juicy secret.
Darkness will swallow the light. We will slay our enemies.
Rude.
I will not crush cry like a meek little thing.
It's like your defenses aren't even there.
I think their life total's low enough. I'm just going to ignore Kaido. The scary thing is that between Consider and Supreme Will, and them only having 34 cards in their deck, there's a decent chance they find Time Walk. They also get a plus from the Kaido. And they took the first card, which, if it was me, I probably would have bottomed anything that wasn't Time Walk. Yeah, I guess Ancestral is worth keeping. That's going to be enough to do anything.
I have come for vengeance.
Yeah, maybe.
Cunning rewards the strong.
Wait.
Now, what do we have?
Oh, this works on defense too? 'Cause they're dead on board right now. Those are the menacing spiders. I think this is probably a mulligan on the draw. It's a much better hand. Come on, play 3/1/1s. Growth Spiral into Forest, Llanowar Elves, Elvish Mystic. They still have a mana left over to play Avacyn's Pilgrim. Let's see it. Okay, they can still play 2/1/1s. They didn't play any 1/1s at all. Well, maybe, I guess they could still actually play Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic. And they did play the Breeding Pool untapped for some reason. So they must be planning to do something. Or they miscounted. Holy cow, that was not worth doing. What was the opponent thinking? Yeah, that wasn't a good one, opponent. I maybe actually got the wrong land. I maybe should have just gotten the swamp so I could play Meat Hook for 1. I assume they did that because they didn't want me to Blood Tithe Harvester the Lotus Cobra, so they're not going to block. I don't really want to trade the Blood Tithe Harvester with the Lotus Cobra, because I might just be Meat Hooking for 1 next turn. So you have a 7 mana card? Oh, they wanted to make sure they'd get to do this. Okay. They don't get the ability. This game's pretty hard at this point. It's not impossible, though. This time protection from instants, at least it's not, I'm not the one trying to target my own Emrakul. This is more reasonable. They can't plant mana, that's not gonna do it. They don't know I have Meat Hook though. So they might think that just getting a bunch of 2 toughness guys into play does something. I don't know if there's a better way to do this. I think I'm just gonna cut this thing. Okay, nothing. I do need to swing for a treasure, but I can do it like that. There might have been a way that I could play around some things. I didn't think about it super hard.
One of your friends has to leave.
That besieging land is helping. It's true. Had they not decided to do that insane beside you, your what's it called? No, it's a blood. If they hadn't beside you my blood token on turn 3, they probably would have won very easily. Because I was not going to just Blood Tithe Harvester their Lotus Cobra. Now I'd have to say things are looking pretty grim for them. I don't know if I'm even going to take the Emrakul when I breach. They have a Primeval Titan as well, which I think the Primeval Titan may be better for me. Is it possible I could hit a haste thing? And I guess they get Vorinclex in their deck. Let's find out. Oh, we also get this counter. That's nice. Definitely don't want that Otter. Oh, they have a Coma. Okay.
Subservience will.
Probably should have flushed first.
I'm tired of your secrets.
In case they had a Vorinclex. I'm gonna guess they do not have a way out of this in their deck. They do have a paleontologist.
The others can deal. Oh, you. That's my cue to. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Well, that was fun. That deck was quite good. Alright, what are my prizes? What did I get? Gems? A Rattleclaw Mystic. Which I guess I didn't play that much cons either. And an Iridescent Horn Beetle that's been modified for alchemy. I think it's 1 mana cheaper and at the cost of 1 less toughness. Nice. That's going to be it for me for this evening. Thanks everybody for watching. And I will see you next time.